So there were news that came out about Symone Sanders, and Symone Sanders is the latest person that will be leaving, the White House. She'll be leaving Kamala Harris. And we have known that a lot of people are trying to see the front door and getting away from Kamala. Now, many people were saying, well, what happened with the situation with Symone? But it's a whole lot that I want to say about Symone here. Now, when all the rumblings happened, Symone came out and later said that she, wanted to take a break. She said that she has been, on a campaign trail for the past 2 years with Jim Crow Joe. She staffed, his whole team. She said she would be on a plane 1 minute with Jim Crow Joe and then on another plane with Kamala Harris. She said she's now about to get married. So she want to take time to plan her wedding and just kind of enjoy her life to find out what she's going to do. Now, that is really the most political correct answer that you can give. 'Cause a lot of people saying that she was unhappy. So she had to come out and say something for sure. Now, that's the kind of answer where I don't want to burn any bridges by not just telling people exactly how I feel, because you know good and well, especially those of you who are married or in a loving and committed relationship that have someone, when you come home, you're telling your lady or your man about what's going on at the job. And I know Symone was not happy with the situation. Let's go back in time just a little bit on a campaign trail. Now, she says that she staffed Jim Crow Joe's team. She did all the heavy lifting and all the work to do that. You understand? Because she felt that if I invest this time into Jim Crow Joe, I'll get that press secretary job that I want. Symone Sanders even tackled someone to protect Jim Crow Joe. That's a Secret Service job, and she jumped up and did their job. You understand? Nobody was more loyal to Jim Crow Joe than Symone Sanders. This woman spoke for him, took the slings and arrows for Jim Crow Joe. And then when he finally won, instead of him doing what was right, because let me tell you something, if Symone Sanders tackled somebody for me, and then Symone can get whatever she want out of me at that point, because they'll say, man, look, Symone's the truth. She real loyal, she real, she tackling people. Man, I gotta reciprocate. I just have to do that. I'll be looking like a fool if I don't do that. But oh no, not Jim Crow Joe. Because we know Jim Crow Joe has always been an anti-black racist. We know this. We look at his things he said in the past. We look at his legislation he's pushed. We even look at what he's done recently with the Haitians. They don't have any kind of science to this new variant, and immediately he wants to ban 8 African countries that didn't even have the variant in it. He banned them, but he makes sure to let everybody else come across here, though. You understand? So then, after Symone Sanders have done all the things that she has done for this man, Jen Psaki got her job. Do you really think that Symone Sanders was really happy about Jen Psaki getting her job? Let me tell you something about the Jen Psakis of the world. You have a lot of black people on jobs that's doing exactly what Symone Sanders did. Sacrificing a lot, doing the most to try to impress these folks so you can get this position, job, or whatever you're trying to get. And you did all of that, put your body on the line. You're more educated. A lot of you are more well-spoken. And then when it's time to get the job, the Jen Psakis of the world get your job. And when the Jen Psakis of the world get your job, you can't really throw the fit that you want to throw. You got to swallow that junk. Now, just me as a black man, just watching and what I've seen over the years with black women, the Jen Psaki's of the world piss off black women because those women get jobs and they're not educated enough to have. They didn't earn it. They didn't put in the time, but yet they just slide in and get those jobs. This is why also, if you want to go into the area of dating and having that conversation, this is why when sisters see brothers with white females, you made me get a stronger reaction out of it versus if they say if he was with an Asian or if he's with a Arab, Indian, Hispanic, or whatever, is because the Jen Psaki's of the world has always taken things and done things to black women over the years. You understand? And black folks, you know, those of you who just don't accept things for what it is, we have a beef with them in their community. You try to put it aside, you try to not focus on it, but it's a beef that we didn't start, and it's a beef that they didn't rectify. And it always comes up, and the bad blood always comes up because there is a beef that's been happening ever since slavery. You understand? So you have Jen Psaki take her job. Then on top of that, after she was the face of Jim Crow Joe, because she'd been the face, she should have had the press secretary job. After she did all of that, what did you do? You sent her to be the spokesperson for Kamala Harris. No good and well, she's not going to get hardly much TV time for that at all. Symone didn't go through all of that just to be Kamala Harris's person. Then on top of that, people saying that Kamala is a bully. Kamala don't even read the briefings. When she don't know something because she just chose not to read it, she going off on people. And Symone's sitting up there looking like, man, I did not take 2 years of my life to be put in this position. You know what I'm saying? Symone just like, man, you know what? I done had it. I gotta go. I'm gonna tell them whatever I say. I gotta go. Is other thing. There's so many things I could be doing outside of this, and I have my dignity and respect than being just carrying the coats and standing around Kamala and she ain't got nothing going on. Now, one thing Minister Farrakhan said that I'll never forget. He said, when you see the downfall of other people or something happen to anybody, don't laugh at them. Learn. Because he said when you're laughing at them, you're not paying attention to what got them in that situation. And then when you're laughing, you're going to end up doing the exact same thing they did and be in the exact same position. Versus when you're willing to look and learn and listen, then you can pay attention to not repeat it. Now, that's one of the most wise things I ever heard Minister Farrakhan say. So what can we learn from Kamala Harris situation? For sure, that's Kamala. But what can we learn with Symone Sanders? Because Kamala is something else too now. We learned this. Don't give your all to these people. Don't invest yourself into these people because they don't respect you. They don't respect your education. They don't respect your expertise. They have no respect for you. They never can respect you. There's no reason to give your all to these people and Jen Psaki can just slip right in, didn't have to tackle nobody, didn't do nothing for 2 years, didn't do a thing, and take your job away from you. You understand? Even people like Boule Martin. In my opinion, all the stuff he was fighting for the Democrats, this man put his whole reputation on the line. He sat up there and feeding answers to Hillary Clinton, got himself straight embarrassed. All that stomping and fighting and cussing and fussing he did with black folk. And they didn't give him not even a deputy press secretary job. You would have think all that mess Roland did for them, you would have think Boule Martin would have got something out the deal. And he ain't got a thing. He was sitting up here crying about ads. And he cried enough and they gave him some. Because now he ain't crying about black media and advertising no more. If you notice that, he ain't crying about it no more. After he get his, he ain't worried about black media no more. He's only worried about himself. Like I told y'all, be careful when you hear black folks always talking about what we need and we this and we that and we got to have that. And then the we means them. That's a hustle tactic. So continuing. So Symone and what happened to her, invest your time into yourself. If you're going to tackle somebody for yourself. Tackle somebody for your community if you're going to do it. Don't sit up here and tackling nobody for them folks, defending these folks. You understand? Because Jen Psaki would have never tackled nobody for Jim Crow Joe. Don't be a Symone Sanders. I hate to see good, talented black folks give your all to these companies that's owned by these folks, and all you order them is an employee number. They don't care about you. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about anything. This is what I say. Get your education, get a job, learn everything you can on these jobs for a few years, and then branch off and create your own, whatever it may be. That's what you do. And while you at these jobs, if it's certain customers and things you build a rapport with and letting them know, hey, I'm branching off and doing my own thing, you know, you're welcome to come with me over here. And some of them may go with you from those jobs, right? But go and always seek to create your own company. I refuse to give my all to somebody that's not my own business, or if it's my wife's business. If it's not my wife and my business, I'm not giving my all. I would only do the minimum I have to do to fit a job description. I'm not doing no more and no less than the minimum. You understand? Because the minimum is what all I'm gonna have to give you, because I'm gonna give my all to my own. And that's what we can learn from Symone Sanders. Don't put no time and investment into these people. They don't respect you. No matter what you do, they don't respect you, because a Jen Psaki will always show up with less education, didn't put in the time and hours that you put in, and take your job right from you. And some of you have experienced that. I know you have, and you're probably going to leave some comments talking about it. You understand? And leave your comments. Let people know how, your situation and what happened. But I hope Symone, move on and get married and plan her wedding and assess everything. And maybe, just maybe, she'll come back, with a different tune a little bit, and seeing how these people really think about her. Because they don't think much of her. But you know what's happening? The most hardcore, bleeding blue, black Democrat that's out here that I'm noticing, they are pissed off because they're seeing how they're getting screwed over. And this has actually been a good thing. This has been a good thing. It's just like the situation with the Asian hate crime bill. They didn't stand in long lines voting for Jim Crow Joe. They didn't go mobilize anything as a collective, and yet they get a bill. You look at all these different groups that got all kind of set aside from Jim Crow Joe, and they didn't do anything that black folks did. That's why I always try to tell black folks. So this is what you ran out there and would vote for, right? This is what you voted for? And the only thing they can say about in that response, they know you're right. Well, it was better than Trump. Like, well, really? It was better than Trump? Trump to give them all these other groups a thing. I'm saying? Like, what do we really get out of that deal? And it's like I tell black folk, don't be into that. Well, I just want to get this person out and replace them with what? You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't a better choice. But like I say, you live and learn, right? But, with the Symone situation, learn from that. Don't give your all to these people. Don't give your body. Don't give your mind. Don't give your time. If you're going to do something with them, do it for selfish reasons only, nothing to help them. Get what you need out of the situation and go. See, one thing about them other groups, they play the game very well. And they come in there with a mindset like, I'm trying to get in where I fit in, and I'm about to be out so I can have my own business. That's what the Asians do, the Arabs, different Hispanic people do. They know how to play the game, and we got to do the same thing. Get in there, learn certain things, and get out and create your own. Never give your all to these people because they will not respect you. But, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation here with our Symone Sanders. And I know some people don't like Symone Sanders. It's not about me liking Symone Sanders or not. What she's dealing with right now is enough. The embarrassment and everything else. We learned it from her. Make sure you share the podcast, let people know what we got going on over here, and subscribe to the channel if it's your first time coming over. If you listen to us on other platforms, and make sure you follow us. And also support us, monthly if you can on the podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.